Everybody, my name is Clayton Huffman.
I'm Katie Mott.
And we're here with Kima Sisson. And on this,
we're going to talk about bikes today.
Exactly, bikes. We're going to talk about the pros and cons, the hazards and the benefits of having a bike down here. And I think you actually had a funny story today.
This morning, my car is getting worked on, so I haven't been on a bike for 2 weeks. So I have a lot of complaints about it. But even this morning, I saw a girl totally biff it on the curb, stop traffic. So it is definitely dangerous out there.
Yes, you have to watch yourself. Yes, we know about the benefits. You got health. I'm going to be going on both sides of the issue here with this, because this is, to me, a serious issue down here because it's so beautiful. We have a lot of people make their money by renting bikes to tourists. A lot of shops make their living by repairing bikes and selling bikes to us locals, and as well. It's a great economic revenue for people who make their living down here, but I think that they don't really make it fully safe for all of us. Yes, it's a great benefit. People can walk around, you save the carbon footprint, all this, but as you see like some of these streets, okay, I'm going to make an example like White Street. You got from Truman to Atlantic, they have the back paths, they have, they widen the sidewalks for everybody.
Right.
But you go from Truman Avenue over to Eaton Street, it's not that way.
Nothing.
Okay, so I mean...
And I'm riding my bike on the sidewalk,
yes,
which the pedestrians then hate. So it's all three sides are kind of fighting over this issue.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have lost just respect and common sense, and what actually goes, what's the law about riding your bikes, because you got bicycles, you got scooters, you got people walking, you got people on bicycles. You have to be alert. You can't just be like walking around or driving around like, oh, nothing's going to happen.
People popping out of driveways that you don't even see.
Yeah, you're on an island. I mean, it's a small, congested place. At certain times of the year, it's more congested than others. But one person is not entitled to more so than another. I'm being honest.
Everyone thinks they're in the right, so there needs to be kind of a middle ground with everybody.
Yeah, I think there should be a middle ground. I think that they need to go through the whole city on every street, not just like having on certain streets you got a bike path, but if you take a right on the side street, you got nothing.
You lose your bike path.
Yeah, you lose your bike path. You got to get on the sidewalk. I mean, Duval.
Forget about it.
Yeah, sometimes it's a nightmare. And people, listen, tourists or locals alike, be careful. Don't double up when people trying to go around or like swerve around, go in that, and not look behind you, okay? Because normally, like when I'm driving, I'm thinking the bicyclist is going to be, like along the curb or, on the sidewalk sharing with pedestrians.
Yeah.
And they'll just whip out in front or don't even stop at a stop sign.
I want to know, too, how many people open their doors. Have you ever seen that happen?
I've seen that happen a couple times.
I'm curious if that's ever happened, because I'm paranoid about it.
I'm just curious if there's more accidents during the day or there's more accidents at night.
With the drinking factor, too.
Oh, yes.
That just screws everything up.
And I'm getting to the point now, like when I was growing up, believe me, we didn't have helmets, we didn't have lights on our bikes. Some of the stuff...
And you turned out okay. So.
I'm special. But you have... Nowadays, some places want the helmet. I can't say you don't have the helmet. But like in this town...
The lights are a big deal.
Yes.
Because you'll get ticketed if you don't have lights on your bike.
And it's to the point now, it's a safety issue. You got to have that. And one thing I want to say is like a danger zone. And I think the city needs to step up with this. And I don't see why it would be so hard to do this. I see more accidents or more near calls with sending people to the hospital, actually, on Roosevelt, right there past Winn-Dixie. Okay? As you go in there in front of the storage units.
And with all the construction.
With all the construction, yeah, you can't. I praise them for widening the sidewalks and making it where you can walk and ride your bike down. Okay. But you have to, how hard is it to put like a hole in the ground right there with two flashing yellow lights saying, hey, please, okay guys, slow down, pedestrians crossing. Okay, you got nothing there but like white stripes.
White lines
yeah.
that no one pays attention to.
They don't, okay? I seen cars rear-ended because another car had the respect to slow down for that person to come across.
So when you're doing the right thing, you still get hit. You can't win.
And that's what brought that to my attention. I'm seeing that, and it scares me when I ride my bike through there, because you're taking your life in your hands. I'm serious about that. That's something that needs to be addressed, as well as, like I said before, certain parts of town, have the paths. And what amazes me is tourists and local alike do this. They don't always follow the path. Okay?
Well, then some people go against traffic.
Yes.
So it's just.
So you got somebody on a bicycle here, you got somebody in your lane over here, and you honk at them, and they go, "Hey, can you please move over so I can go through?" And they look at you like you're crazy. And I mean, so what we're going to do now is, as we'll kind of bantering, ranting, and raving, we kind of recap some of the highlights here. As you can see in the article, this Sunday you have all kinds of, Glenn will be talking about, bike paths and bicycles and everything in Key West. I just want to recap. Guys, we have to share the road with everybody, okay? I don't care if you're in a car, on your bike. We all have bikes, we all have cars, we all have scooters. Or some of us have one, the other, or maybe just one of the three, okay?
So just be kind.
Just be kind, use common sense, okay? If it's saying you're going this way, go with it. If you're on the sidewalk and somebody's walking by, yes, of course, tourists, locals alike. The people walking, let them get by, and then, you go around, get through that. Same thing with the cars, people on bicycles, if they're on the side, don't get right next to them, okay? Give them their space, especially on Devossi, so many people get close. And I see people reckless too, but I'm bantering again, but they're, like they're weaving in and out, going down the middle lane.
Just cut right across.
Yeah. You're asking to get hurt, okay? And you're making it, bad on everybody else. Just everybody, it don't take that much longer. Nobody's on a time clock down here.
Yeah, it's an island.
Yeah.
You get there when you get there.
It's Key West time, guys. All right? Key West time. Just relax, enjoy the scenery. It's a healthy activity to do. They are making strides to improve your safety, but we're not quite there yet, and we all know it.
And we also don't want to lose our biking privileges. It could go the other way with stricter laws, and then.
And some cities do have that, and that's something we don't want to go through. Okay, so hopefully you guys will take you around town. We're going to show you some of the signs. Same for bike paths. We're going to show you some of the congested areas for people on bikes.
And get your take on it as well.
And get your take on it as well. So we may be stopping you by and asking you questions.
So watch out, we're coming.
Yeah, we're going to be there. All right, so let's get to it. We're going to show you some locations now. As we're taking you out and about and around town, like we just said, the first stop I want to make is here on Roosevelt on the way downtown, or you leaving, coming up to Newtown. This is a makeshift crosswalk that they put in because of the construction going on. And to me, I believe it's the most dangerous of all the crosswalks in town for bicyclists and pedestrians, or any period. Okay, there is no. How hard would it be to put a pole in with flashing lights? Because basically you cross at your own hazards. People, as you can see, barely stop for you. Okay, as just happened right behind me at this moment. They don't. They do stop, but there's no indication that people are crossing other than the white stripes on the road. So you really have to pay close attention, as a motorist, a scooterist, motorcyclist, bicyclist, pedestrian, all across the board. I really think while this crosswalk is up for the time being and the construction is going on the bridge right next to me, I think that we should have some type of pole in with, flashing lights indicating, slow down, stop, let people cross. So that's my personal opinion. But right now, let me take you around to the other sites around town so you can kind of see. But again, I want to emphasize, people, if you're out and about and you come across this, this little crosswalk here on Roosevelt, be alert, be very attentive. We do not want an accident to happen and a serious injury to occur. As you can see behind me, I'm here at the corner of White and Truman Street. I keep wanting to call it Whitehead. this corner of White and Truman Street. You can see the traffic behind me. This is like a light afternoon right now, but this is a heavy, busy intersection. And this is how we talked about with the bicycle paths and bike lanes. We don't have one going up and down Truman, which has tremendous traffic, but you do have it, like I said, from here on half of White Street. From White Street going over to Eaton, you do not have a bike path, but on White Street going over to Atlantic Boulevard, where you have Higgs Beach, the Key West Age Memorial, and all that, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. But you see a lot of, they do have bike paths for you, and you got pedestrians walking. So you have designated areas. This is like one of the areas I'm talking about. I think this is like the second busiest hot spot here in Key West, next to the one on Roosevelt, which will show that as well. You need to really start paying attention to these. And you can see traffic, it's always constantly moving. For even people who are walking across the street, it can be hectic at times. And bicyclists, there's no reason why not to be either. So let's go and check out some of the other locations. One thing I want to show, I'm down here in Duval Street, something we didn't really talk about much. And that's what we have down here, pedicabs, rickshaw drivers, whatever you want to call them. They mainly stick around Duval Street, picking up fare and taking them back to the hotels, a few streets off. I've seen people drive all the way, pedicab all the way Northside Island. I don't know what that fare costs, but you know what, more power to them. But that's something else too, because it's like a tricycle, and I'm going to show some pictures of that too. You see people bicycling along the traffic here. That's something else that we need to address too down here while you're on Duval Street, because I know from time to time they've done studies on widening the streets up, and for the most part these guys do look out for other drivers and pedestrians, and they try to let people go around them when they can. So I think these guys really do a great job, and nothing needs to be said about that. But it does, they make their revenue off the tourist, and it's a great business, and it's kind of show you some of the hazards they may face. As we said earlier, I'm showing you how bicycles operate up and down Duval Street and Old Town. So we're going to have a lot of little clips back and forth to different sections of Duval, so you guys can have your, take your opinion on everything. But basically, like we said before, a lot of it's just respect and common sense.
It started off as a hobby and then
next little kitchen.
Everybody, my name is Clayton Huffman, and with Key West Citizen, and I'm actually here on Duval Street with Shane Cascio. He's a local avid biker, as you see from this bike right behind here. This is like the Cadillac of all bikes. Actually, I want him to tell us a little bit about this bike that you have behind us.
Absolutely. I basically went out and bought the basic bike and then went and got the necessities, the things, the units that I would need to use on a daily basis. One of those being, my front basket, my rear basket, cup holder, of course, and I just started adding on.
yeah. That's like the number one thing you buy down here. That and the lawn.
That's
Everything else you work around.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell me, what is about biking down in Key West? What do you find as some of the benefits for you?
You know, I think the greatest benefit is you're able to get some exercise in while going grocery shopping, while going to your friend's house, while biking around town, as opposed to a scooter or a vehicle. But more importantly,
You got a bike? We got all types of traffic. Air, land, and sea over
I think
here,
you spoke
guys.
to the control tower.
They don't listen to me anymore.
Yeah, so basically what it is with bikes, also I find that I get where I need to go faster in most cases than I do by scooter, than I do by car. If it's within a 2 mile radius, I can get there faster by bike.
Oh, wow, 2 miles. So how much do you bike a week?
Every day I would say 5 miles a day.
5 miles a day.
35 miles a week. Not a whole lot, not exercise, but it's just from point A to point B, and it just turns out being exercise.
So 5 miles a day, what do you see? I mean, we got the benefits, of health and everything. That's understandable and easier to get in and out. But what do you see as the cons, as hazards about backing down the Key West?
Usually the cons would come from safety. That's been my experience, safety. So, I always make sure I have the proper lighting, and I kind of go overboard. If I have one light, I actually have two. If I have two in the front, I have two in the back, just to be extra safe. But really the cons would be that, and then also bikers that I'm witnessing and that I'm seeing around, and I'm guilty of it myself at times, but that are riding down one-way roads and perhaps on sidewalks where they're not supposed to, and pedestrian accidents and so on.
But so that mainly with the tourists or with the locals?
I would say with everyone.
I see that. I agree with you on that. Everybody goes, "Oh, it's the tourists." No, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Especially on Duval Street, because people can get in a hurry. They get agitated. They want to get there.
And you start to believe you might be safer on the sidewalk when actually it could be more dangerous with the public and the pedestrians. And then also on the street, just really yielding to traffic, knowing that the traffic is going to be stronger and bigger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because you're continuing with the people, especially like on Duval, you don't have a bike lane. This is one of the areas where I think they really need it. Because like you said earlier, some streets, they have the lanes, and then you go to the next street over, you turn over on the other street, you don't have the lanes for you, so it's like, bam, I mean, you kind of expect that sometimes, and especially if you're not from down here and not used to that, I see a lot of accidents happening down there.
Absolutely.
And then like what we said around, and that goes throughout all over town. Like Newtown, you have a lot of bike lanes like that, but as you get closer down to Old Town, you see it less and less.
You see less bike lanes and less bike racks. And I think a good investment for the city would be maybe perhaps more bike racks. We've actually installed our own around the area of our apartment complex. But to install, you can see as right now I'm locked up to a light post, which is discouraged, but at the same time, convenient. More bike racks would be a positive.
Yeah, I see people like back on back.
And I've seen people also guests locked up to something that could easily be cut, like a piece of wood.
Yeah.
Small tree. Yeah.
It should be like lift over the tree.
Yeah.
I've seen that done before.
Yeah.
This is practical joke, guys. This is a joke on a practical guy. Nothing serious. Because people down here, like we said, they especially if you're down in Duval, it is congested, and people treat it like a Ricky Bobby show. If you're not first, you're last. Pretty much. But Shane, thank you for taking your time with us and giving us some insights on a local view on everything, and we do appreciate it. And hope to call on you again in the future.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. Okay, as you saw there, we took you around town, showed you some of the hot spots people are talking about.
Danger zones.
And danger, hazardous, pros, cons. I mean, anything. You got good and bad to it, guys. And after seeing all that, you can draw your own conclusions. Okay. As for, how do you feel about after seeing all this? And what's your
I
take
just
on
feel
this?
as long as everyone's aware, we can all get this together and work together on it. It doesn't have to be this crazy maze that it is.
Exactly. And for me personally here, I believe it comes down to respect and common sense with everything. And pushing our city council and pushing everybody to actually get all the streets uniformed. I mean, not halfway.
How nice would it be if there's a bike path on every street?
Yes. Every street, get everything safe. I mean, we spend all this money on this other stuff, this and that, but this is something that keeps us outdoors, keeps us safe, keep kids safe, keep the tourists safe.
And Key West is one of the largest accidents in the state of Florida, so it's a huge issue down here.
Exactly. And it's just for not paying attention, okay? If we all pay attention, we all respect, the stop signs, respect everything, a lot of this will go away. All right? Well, I'm Clayton Huffman,
I'm Katie Mott.
and this is the Key West Citizen.
Be safe out there.